Greetings, everyone. David here again with another 13th Age review and digital preview of all the contents within this great book called the 13th Age Book of Loot. Now, the Book of Loot is by 13th Age, and the designer is Rob Heinsoo, Jonathan Tweet, Ash Law, and this Book of Loot was done by Gareth Ryder. Now, the book itself, as you can see, is not a hardback. It is a 72-page soft cover, but it's not really that soft of a cover. I mean, it is a very hard paper here, and it's great. It's a great book. I've had it for 2 years now or so, and you can see that this book has some art, but it is in black and white. And the reason why they did that is because they wanted to claim that, well, they claimed they wanted to keep the price down. So you can get this on the Pelgrane Press website for $17.95 for the book, and they also give you a free PDF. You can't beat that. You can't beat that with a stick. So I like the art. The art's on the cover. That's the only thing. The cover and the back. That's the only thing that is color. Everything else is black and white. Great book. This book goes into the 13 icons. And this is just not a book of, a Holy Avenger sword or, gloves of thievery or the staff of healing. This actually talks about the chakras, which are called the magic items, what each slot that you can get, how each slot is affected by what base or static bonus, and then listed with the 13 icons, it gives you, broken down by slot, what types of items this icon, like the ARCHMAGE, would have a lot of magic casting things. Like for robes, there would be like maybe robes of quick casting. So it would be called of casting. So you would have robes, and then you would name it of casting, and then you would get all the benefits for that. So I like how they don't just give you the made items. They give you all kinds of different powers to put on the magic items. And then the Dungeon Master, or the Game Masters are called in 13th Age, they create the item and then give it to the player. I like that. Then at the end of the book, there is a bunch of information on loot parcels, how much loot, does a character get, how much loot do you put on a monster, and then it breaks it down into all different other types of, special loot, from very expensive pieces of art, all kinds of special things that you would find, like maps. There's adventure hook points all throughout the book for all 13 icons. There's all kinds of new one-use items, and then it lists everything by slot at the very end of the book, and it's a very well put together book. It's 72 pages. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the digital portion of the review now. Alright, everybody, so here is the digital review. We're going to look at every single page in the book. Like I said, it is 72 pages, and it is all in black and white, and that is because it has a cheap price of $17.95, and you get a free PDF. And it's a great value price. All right, so it has all of the intros, the credits, the contents. As you can see, it has all 13 icons, and it is broken down into tiers and also by slots. So, all right, what is in this book is the introduction. Finding the items. There are magic items, and really not called magic items. I'm just used to calling them magic items, but in 13th Age, they're called chakras, and the chakras are the type of magic item you get. You can get a chakra belt, or you can get, here's, I'll kind of go back and rewind that. Chakras are any kind of magic item you get, depending on what slot. It doesn't matter on what type of slot you get. No matter if you get, here's one type of chakra, any kind of armor. It could be armor, robes, shirts, or tunics. Anything related to a chess piece, that's one type of chakra. And the default bonus is +1 adventurer, levels 1 through 4, +2, that is a champion tier, 5 to 7. Epic is +3, and that's levels 8, 9, and 10. So It's very self-explanatory. It's easy for the DM to decipher all of this, and you just take these base, the base items depending on what slot. So if you want to make a cloak, a magical cloak, then you would say, okay, it's for an adventurer level 2. So you would have the cloak and physical defense. So you would do +1 for the physical defense. So your cloak would be +1. And then all throughout this book, you'll look through the different icons and look for the different types of basically, powers that you can put on these cloaks. And there's a whole bunch of them. We're going to take a look at them. So that's the magic item creation in 13th Age. I like it. All right, and here's some other stuff here. Items that demand a good story, items that I really like, campaign defining artifacts. Now, here's the ARCHMAGE. Now, he's one of the 13 icons, and here's the different types of armor, robe, shirts, or tunics. It could be a armor of spellthread shirt or a tunic of spellthread shirt. And that's, here's a champion, which would be levels 5, 6, and 7. Robe of preservation, so there you go. It would be champion tier, so it would be +2, and then you would put the robes, the of preservation on it. Here's a belt of giant health, or you can name it the girdle of giant health, and it's works on recoveries. All the belts, which are right here, give you more recoveries. How many more times can you heal yourself in a day? And you can see that it does break it up into champion tier, adventure tier, or epic tier. And each one of these icons have about 4 to 5 pages of items that you can create from the base chakras. And then it even gives you wondrous items like a crystal ball. And then at the end of every one of the icons, it gives you adventure hooks. I mean, what's not better than getting more ideas? So, all right, so here's the next icon, the Crusader. And he has 4 pages as well with wondrous items and also adventure seeds. The Diabolist. Diabolus has 4 pages, and then he goes into more, symbols and holy relics and wands and weapons, and all of these items are catered to that individual icon. Also, you're not going to see the Orc Lord with a bunch of wands. You're going to see him with axes and swords and stuff like that. The Archmage, now he would have more staves, robes, and stuff like that. Not to say that there won't be robes on, say, the Orc Warrior, but it would be less likely to see something like that. So the Dwarf King. Dwarf King has all kinds of different things. Shields, staves, wands, wondrous items, all kinds of adventure hooks. Goes to the Elf Queen. Lots of rings and pendants, and there's weapons, wands, a whole bunch of things for the Elf Queen, and adventure hooks. The Emperor, he's got 4 pages, the Great Gold Worm. 3 pages, High Druid. 4 pages. Here's the Lich King. And now I want to kind of go over actually a couple of the items themselves, which are kind of fun. Now, there is one item here on the Lich King that is, let's see. All right, you need a chakra, which is a belt. So this is the of the Slayer. So, it gives you all of the, you are drawn to prey on the weak and the dying. When you use the belt, you get a +1 bonus to your attack as long as you attack the enemy with the fewest hit points. And the DM would tell you that. Champion, if this is a champion tier belt, then the effect lasts for 3 rounds instead of, just the one. And then epic would be for the entire battle, which is actually really nice. And you'll notice that there is a quirk after this, which is merciless. So what I like about 13th Age as well, and I haven't touched on the quirks yet, are whenever you have a magic item, most magic items will have quirks. And the quirks are something that can hindrance you. So if you have this, this very nice, epic tier sword belt of the Slayer, then you would have to act merciless. So your whole persona, your attitude would change because you have this belt equipped. Here's another one of the armor of animation. The quirk for it is hungers for the life force of living beings. So you would basically be turning yourself into undead because this is a Lich King, and the Lich King is undead. He is, a very old undead skeleton. So I think from the second or third age or something like that. I mean, a lot, or maybe there's been Lich Kings, but each one takes each other out along the way or something like that. I forget the story, but it was actually really interesting. And so if you had that armor of animation, you're basically craving the life of other living souls. So, and you have to play those quirks, because if you don't, then you're going to get penalties, or the DM would just probably poof, destroy the magic item, and you wouldn't benefit from it anymore. That's what I would do. And then I would curse you for probably the entire game, because you're not playing the character the way you're supposed to be playing it. All kinds of adventure hooks. Now here's the Orc Warlord. Now this is pretty cool. Now the Belt of Skulls. Here's a magic chakra, the Belt of Skulls. Now the quirk on this is the wearer of this belt is now haunted by the ghostly voices from the skulls that make the belt. Now that is awesome. That is a belt that I would definitely put into the game. I mean, big time. Here's another great. Here's a cloak. The Scout's Cloak. It gives you +2 to attempts to hide in darkened areas or at night. Pretty decent bonus. You may share this bonus with up to 2 other nearby allies. I like that too. Here's the quirk. It makes your character paranoid. So now you're going to be paranoid as you start, using this cloak. It's great. I love it. Here's another quirk. The gloves of the low blow. The quirk is you refuse to admit pain or weakness. Here's another great one right here. I love this. The champion, here's a champion tier shield, level 5, 6, or 7. It's called the Shield of Crushing Thunder. And, this shield rings out noises of crushing thunder everywhere. And the quirk is now you're hard to hear. You're hard of hearing. So you'd be like, all over the place, That would be some pretty good role play, especially if you're like trying to diplomatically seal a deal, and you've got this shield, and you're just hard of hearing. You can't hear what the ambassador's saying, or your party member that's negotiating, and you'd be like, I didn't hear it. Oh, that could be so good. That's another item that I would give out, and I would give that out. I'd probably give that out at like the adventure level, level 1, just right off the bat. I would let them find that. That would be so good. Priestess. 4 or 5 pages of stuff. The Prince of Shadows, the same thing. So as you guys can see, it follows the same format. All of the weapons, the different tiers, wondrous items for each of these icons, and a bunch of adventure hooks. At least 2, 3, 4, 5 adventure hooks for every one of the icons. Here's the 3, and he's the last one. Now here's how to do the treasure troves. Here's your level. There's only 10 levels for player characters in the game, so this is how much they're supposed to get in a full heal up. A full heal up is basically after 16 encounters you get a level. All right, so a A full heal up, I believe, is after 4 encounters. So after that, you just reset. It just there's no crap on all this like 8-hour resting and stuff like that. I like the full heal ups. When you get to a certain point, you're just inspired by the icons to where all of your recoveries reset, and all that stuff. And I like that. It just makes the game flow much faster, and I just like that. So it tells you how much between each heal up, and you're supposed to get 4 heal ups per level. So it's 16 encounters and 4 encounters per heal up. And then the third level characters are supposed to usually average about 175 gold pieces worth of loot per level up or full heal up. And then you would multiply that by 4 for their levels. So 175 by 4, which would be right around 700 or so. And it just goes up every level. Now there's all kinds of, there's 2 treasure there's coins, there's the chakras or magic items, and then there's consumable one-use items. And here it talks about all the coins and the different types of coins, like the trines, which are made by the elves, which is a mixture of silver, gold, and I think platinum, or it may be just a mixture of silver and gold, but they're worth a little bit more. So you can introduce trines into the game, or you could import any of these types of coins from any of the major cities like Glitterhagen or Santa Cora or Horizon or Drakenhall, and each one would have a little bit different value. Maybe they might be worth full value in Drakenhall, but they're not going to be worth half that in Santa Cora. So it's really cool. Here's all kinds of different gems and stuff, all kinds of different treasures like arts and religious relics, and then it gives you ideas for each one of these, and I really like that. And then here's more story hooks for magic items and like of epic proportion, and then here's the one-use items like more potions. And now in the core book there's potions and oils and runes, and they just add more potions here, like the heroism potion, fortification potion, salvation, rejuvenation, and troll blood. So, and it gives you the cost for each tier: adventure, champion, and epic. Oils, they're one-use items. They give you usually just a +1 bonus to either armor, or you can oil, which would be +1 to just armor class, or you can oil your weapon, which would be +1. And it lasts just for the encounter, and it's like a quick action, I believe. And it gives you the actual full rules for scrolls. So here's how to make the scrolls. Here's the cost for the ingredients to make the scroll. And there's 5 tiers of spells: 1st, 3rd, 5th, 7th, and 9th level. Here's how much it costs to make the scrolls. And if you're a caster that can cast that type of scroll, there's no type of skill check involved. Or if you're a mage and you have like a fireball scroll, you don't have to do any kind of check. Now if you're a fighter or a rogue trying to cast that fireball scroll or that healing scroll, then there's going to need to be some checks involved. So it's really nice. Now here you go, guys. Here's all of the last 8 or 10 pages or so of this book list all the different magic items by chakra. So here's all the different armor, robe, shirts, and tunic bonuses. It gives you the tier and what icon it's affected by, or what icon usually would have this associated with them, and what page number. I mean, it's beautiful. Does it for all the different missile items like arrows, bolts, and sling stones, belts, books, boots, cloaks. I mean, just tons of stuff, guys. And this is on the other, the front pages of the book with the icons. They just kind of sorted here in these nice tables. And that's pretty much the entire book, guys. 72 pages of goodness. I like it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this book is only $17.95, like I said. You can get it from Pelgrane Press, and plus when you buy it. It is 72 pages, black and white, and you get a free PDF, and they ship it to you. So anyways, guys, thanks so much. Leave a comment down below. If you liked the video, please like it. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. And until next time, happy gaming.